Announcing the commencement of the first purge.
I want you to change the world, and don't think that this is going to happen peacefully or you can do it alone. We need to kill the rich. You get out there, you use your weapons, and you rip Washington apart. You hunt down the billionaires, the bank bosses, the CEOs, the scumbags and the liars, the governors, the lobbyists, the senators, because they're all the same, and you hang them.
Just remember all the good the purge does.
Good morning, everyone. May 29th, 2018. I'm here at the Activist Post. As 40% of Americans can't pay a $400 bill, Pentagon spends $1 billion developing killer robots. This comes from John Vibes. So, the gap of inequality continues to widen. And historically, the bigger this gap gets, the more violent the outcome. And unfortunately, those before us understood. They understood that the only way to level the playing field is through violence. The Pentagon reportedly plans to spend more than $1 billion over the next few years developing advanced robots for military applications that are expected to complement soldiers on the battlefield and potentially even replace some of them. As the U.S. government uses $1 billion of your tax dollars to build killer robots, a new report just showed that 40% of adults in America would have had to borrow money or sell something to pay an emergency expense of just $400. Now, I will admit I am one of those people. I live on the edge. And it's difficult. I do have lots of things I can sell, but not going to do it because then later on you're just going to have to spend the money over to replace that item. It's better to just go without. The government's war spending has reached epic proportions, and all Americans have to show up for its poverty, less freedom, and now a potential Terminator-esque future in which to look forward. Army project manager Brian McVeigh told Bloomberg that over 800 robots have already entered the ranks in the past 2 years. Within 5 years, I have no doubt there will be robots in every Army formation. We're going from talking about robots to actually building and fielding programs. This is an exciting time to be working on robots with the Army, McVeigh said. McVeigh and other military agents celebrate the addition of robots into their ranks as a cost saver and tool to aid them on difficult missions. But humanitarians fear that this could desensitize powerful nations from the consequences of war even more than they already are with the use of drones or far-reaching missiles. There are currently no public reports of autonomous killing machines, as the military insists that all these weapons will be operated by humans. But many experts are concerned that it is only a matter of time until the technology is taken to that level. It seems inevitable that technology is taking us to a point where countries will face the question of whether to delegate lethal decision-making to machines, said Paul Scharre of the Center for a New American Security. Last year, more than 100 tech experts, including Elon Musk, sent a letter to the UN urging the ban of autonomous robotic weapons. Once developed, lethal autonomous weapons will permit armed conflict to be fought at a scale greater than ever and at timescales faster than humans can comprehend. These can be weapons of terror, weapons that despots and terrorists use against innocent populations, and weapons hacked to behave in undesirable ways, the letter warned. At least 26 countries have made similar calls for a ban on fully autonomous weapons, according to the Campaign to Stop Killer Robots. If you buy into the notion that it's a moral and humanitarian issue that you have machines making life and death decisions on the battlefield, then it is a very simple issue. People have a sense of revulsion over this, said Steve Goose, director of Human Rights Watch Arms Division and a co-founder of the campaign. Goose also pointed out how this could make it easier for members of the military to kill people, entirely removing them from the consequences of war. There's a value of someone being able to appreciate the human consequences of war. A world without that could be potentially more harmful. If we went to war and no one slept uneasy at night, what does that say about us, he said. It is likely that we are in the early days of a military robotics arm race. This week, it was also reported that India is building a formidable artificial intelligence division in their military as well, even openly admitting the development of autonomous robots. I'm going to stop right there. I will leave the link in the description box below. Technology. This is a double-edged sword. On one hand, it can do tremendous things for the human race. On the other hand, and the more likely hand, it could be used to complete the New World Order agenda and Zionist agenda of completely enslaving every man, woman, and child left after the population purge. Unfortunately, without technology, we are doomed to live on this planet that is currently going through massive changes. And these changes, I venture to say, are what, in some instances anyway, killed our ancestors. These changes are cycles, and without technology, we can't create the Stargate that it's going to take for humanity, at least this version of it, to move to the next level. These cycles, they have been part of this planet for a very, very long time, and they're not going to stop just because we occupy the face of this planet. And the only way for the human race to survive is to colonize other habitable planets. It's the only way. Hope you have a good day. Kill the state before the state kills you.